morning, everybody. Karen O'Keefe from Pfizer is my name. I'd like to thank Miriam and American Chamber for focusing on the social contribution of all our companies, which I think is very important in addition to the economic one. I have to confess, out of all the speakers here this morning, I think I have the most slides. I have about 20, but I'm not doing any deep dives, so I'll whittle through them quite quick. I suppose corporate responsibility at Pfizer is not just about doing things right, it's about doing the right things. And if I just give you a quick overview of Pfizer in Ireland, we currently employ about 4,300 people across 9 sites. A number of different manufacturing operations. In Limerick we manufacture SMA, a lot of people will be familiar with that. Cork, a lot of solid dose manufacturing, and Lipitor, which a lot of you will be familiar with, we manufacture for global export. Grange Castle, which is our world's leading biopharmaceutical plant, we manufacture Prevnar, a vaccine for babies, Enbrel for rheumatoid arthritis. And then we've a number of different centres in Dublin. So we've invested over 7 billion in Ireland to date, which obviously is quite a big figure. In terms of our CSR approach, where it fits in with the company's goals is we're striving to be the world's premier biopharmaceutical company. And we do appreciate that our responsibilities go beyond the health improvement that our medicines deliver. So I'm going to take you through one section on our health programmes in addition to the health impact of the medicines. I think integrating corporate responsibility into our business is quite challenging because we obviously have sales and marketing, commercial side, like a lot of the other pharmaceutical companies, but then we also have a very big manufacturing presence. In terms of CR and how it supports our business, we seek to improve public health, I've mentioned that. We seek to protect the integrity of our medicines, and critically we're looking to always develop new medicines to meet areas of unmet medical needs. So for example, our portfolio in cancer is growing, and next year we plan to introduce some new cancer medicines, some of them very, very targeted, personalised medicine. It's a new era in medicine delivery, and we hope to make significant health improvement in that regard. There's 4 pillars of our corporate responsibility I'm going to take you through this morning. The first one is health and wellness. And then the second one is science and innovation, then the environment side, and then employee giving. So a lot of other people this morning have touched on all these elements, and I'm just going to mention some of the example programmes. Some of you might have seen this was a nationwide campaign with the Heart Foundation called FAST, and it was about recognising the signs and symptoms of stroke and critically knowing what to do. And in the case of stroke, you can make a significant difference to your outcome if you recognise them and act fast. So this campaign actually led to an 87% increase in stroke-related admissions in emergency departments, and it meant that 60% of people presenting were able to get life-saving treatment more than before the campaign. So they're pretty good metrics. So moving on from the public awareness, looking at some of our other initiatives in the area of pain. Some of this is around health policy and advocacy and trying to provide a platform for people with pain. There's quite a lot of people in Ireland suffering with chronic pain and severe pain, and to try and mobilise them as a group to look for special recognition of pain as a chronic disease. Some of you will be familiar with our work in tobacco with the Cancer Society. As many of you know, smoking is the leading cause of death, and quitting smoking is the single biggest improvement anybody can make to their health. So we do a lot of work with the Cancer Society, and this initiative in particular was really about, I think BITC mentioned earlier the importance of stakeholders, and some of our CR activities, they all involve stakeholders, but some of them are designed very much to help unify and bring stakeholders together so we can share that platform. And this one in particular brought all the key smoking groups together, so the Cancer Society, Office for Tobacco Control, ASH, and so on. Then in terms of influencing health policy, which is something we strive to do regularly, 2 different initiatives there. One being the Pfizer Health Index. It's an annual research study that we do every year. And while we ask the same questions in terms of, how do you feel your health is, how do you feel access to doctors is, and so on, to try and benchmark trends. And we use this study very much to focus on advocating for the health needs of different groups. So for this year, we looked at women in health. The year before, we looked at ethnic minorities. The year before that, we looked at men. And the year before that, we looked at the health needs and status of lower socioeconomic groups, who generally tend to have worse health than those in the upper socioeconomic groups. So moving on to science and innovation, and obviously innovation is key for any of our companies, but it's certainly the lifeblood of our company. And a lot of you will be familiar with Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement Ireland is a not-for-profit educational organisation, and many of our sites participate in this. In Cork alone, 28 members of staff have taught programmes reaching nearly 800 students in schools across Cork. Then science and technology in action. I suppose this is maybe the heavier side of it, where we actually have developed modules. The Pfizer modules here are cells and cell culture and the evolution of vaccines, and it's very much about promoting innovative teaching and supporting learning as a resource. And then onto the more fun side, I think a couple of companies have presented initiatives and ideas in the area of science, and this one certainly is very interesting. It's aimed at 5th and 6th class pupils, and they come into the labs and they learn to do all kinds of interesting things, like how to get an egg into a bottle is one of them, and how to make rockets, although not ones that actually blast off too high. And Grange Castle, which I mentioned, which is one of our really premier sites, there was this year 51 children shared in that experience in Grange Castle. So then on to volunteering, and employee giving is obviously key as well, and we put a big focus on this across the company. Last year we launched the Pfizer Volunteers Challenge to help celebrate the many ways our colleagues make a difference in local communities. And some of the different initiatives we've done, you'll see from all our different sites for National Volunteering Day. We've had things like knit-a-thons, and we've also done things such as a Do a Dish for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And last but by no means least, in terms of volunteering, this is possibly one of our bigger initiatives. It's the annual Chernobyl cycle, and this has grown from 60 employees participating in 2003 up to 420 cyclists participating today, and we've raised over €700,000 on this cycle. So this is one project which really the company has really embraced, and it's become a very big event on the annual calendar. And on to the last one, the environmental one. And obviously as a manufacturing company, and Ireland is quite unique in Pfizer in that we are one of the largest manufacturing operations in addition to the sales and commercial. And we are very committed to sustainable practice in our manufacturing plants. And the last example I'm going to give you, which I certainly will do very little justice to, it would require one of my colleagues with a PhD in engineering to take you through it, but biocatalysts in small molecule pharmaceutical manufacturing, the metrics on this were really very good. From a safety point of view, it meant that a lot of hazardous reagents were eliminated. We reduced our use of organic solvents. We consolidated all our supply into one plant, and we also saw a 36% reduction in cost in the manufacturing in that process. So I think I just about made it within the time limit, and that's just a very quick overview of a number of our different initiatives. Thank you very much.